Commanders fans. So what's like I said, I'm not saying what's good anymore. William Jackson has requested a trade apparently. This is per Mike Garafolo and Ian Rappaport. William Jackson prefers a new home and a new scheme. His name has been at the center of trade talks. I'm gonna click on the article real quick and just read it. But yeah, this is good. This is good news. It's good news for William Jackson. It's good news for the Commanders. It just didn't work out. Like I said, I think he's been worse than Josh Norman. Honestly, he really has. Like at least Josh Norman, his first year, Josh Norman was productive. Like he would punch the ball out. He did get an interception. I want to say the Browns game where he did the little arrow celebration. Josh Norman did that, and he got fined for it. And he got a flag. Like at least Josh Norman made some type of impact play. Like William Jackson literally has made no impact plays except for penalties and getting burned and getting beat and being burnt toast. And it's not all his fault because he's a press man coverage corner. And Jack Del Rio plays a lot of zone. He likes to play soft coverage and play back. It just doesn't fit William Jackson. That's not where he thrives. So he does need a fresh start. Ron Rivera, his personnel moves, the Mayhew and Marty, they're bad too. It just didn't fit. It wasn't a good fit. And all this back injury stuff, like we knew that wasn't true, man. And him not traveling to the game with a back injury, like I know it's hard to be on a plane with a back injury, but at the same time, like if he really wanted to be there, he was going to be there at the end of the day. So this is good. This is good news, and we get off that contract too, man. If we can get a pick, I don't see us getting maybe like a sixth or something. Like Stephon Gilmore, he went for like a 6th-round pick last year. So that's probably what we're gonna get, and William Jackson's not even as good as Stephon Gilmore. So I'm happy, man. I'm happy about this. This is good. I'm gonna read the article real quick. Sources say the former big ticket free agent cornerback would like a new home, and the Commanders have been engaged in active trade talk center around him with hopes of making it happen. There has been interest in Jackson from several teams. Sources, wow, yes, several teams are interested. Yes, let's go, let's go. With the NFL trade deadline looming on November 1st, the likelihood that Jackson is traded along the likelihood is that Jackson is traded long before then. While Washington plays the Bears tonight, Jackson did not make the trip to shoot. Yes, let's go. Let's get it. Hey, if multiple teams are interested, let's get a 4th-round pick. I will be happy with a 4th-round pick, to be honest with you. I'm thinking we're gonna get a 5th, but I'd be happy with a 4th-rounder. I think at best we'll get a 4th-round pick because we need picks, man. We need to draft a corner. We need to draft the offensive line. We need to draft a quarterback. Really, most likely the quarterback's going to be drafted in the 1st round. But we need picks and we need more talent. We just have to bolster this offensive line. I want this offseason to be centered around offensive line, offensive line, offensive line, offensive line, offensive line. William Jackson, there was something else I was going to say too. The whole miscommunication, like he said he wasn't benched, that his back hurt, and the Ron Rivera just said we pulled him. We made a decision. So there was 2 different stories there. So obviously he got benched. And I've never seen on the day of a game so much news come out. This is crazy. Like the Dan Snyder news saying that he has a hit on every other owner or something like that. I'm probably butchering the quote, but basically he said that he has dirt on every other owner. And then allegedly he hired a PI to follow around Jerry Jones and investigate him, and then he just took a picture with Jerry Jones in Dallas. So very weird stuff, man. Like. And I believe that he has a lot of dirt. And he was quoted to say the NFL is like a mafia. He'll burn down the building. Basically, he's the one that chose Carson Wentz. That's all the news that's coming out. Personally, I don't think he's going to be forced to sell. We've seen so many articles come out. Also, a friend of Roger Goodell allegedly said that they are terrified of Dan Snyder. This is an article from ESPN. If you haven't heard about it, ESPN came out with an article just talking about Dan Snyder and all this stuff, and saying that Dan Snyder basically pushed for Carson Wentz. It was 100% a Dan Snyder move, which is the typical stuff that happens in DC. I don't know how much I believe that, to be honest with you, though. And we were backed against the corner. We didn't have a lot of quarterback options. And fellow owners say that Dan Snyder's costing the NFL money because of low ticket sales, which is true for sure. And our stadium is one of the worst stadiums in the NFL for sure. So a lot of that stuff is true, man. It is. A lot of that stuff is true. There was some other quote that I wanted to say from the article too that I found. It says, quote, the NFL is a mafia. He recently told an associate, quote, end quote, all the owners hate each other, end quote. And then one veteran owner says, that's not true. All the owners hate Dan. So that's all I'm going to say about that, man. I'm not going to get too much into this article because, like I said, we've seen so many articles come out about Dan Snyder, and nothing has really happened. So we'll see. And then there was something disturbing about Ryan Vermillion as well in the article too. Basically that Ron Vermillion was yelling at the one of the other trainers, a lady trainer, and then they told about his behavior being bad, and Ron Rivera just kind of brushed it off. He refused to fire the trainer, making it clear it was his call alone. Snyder, desperate for stability, had given Ron Rivera power over all football operations when he was hired in 2020. Quote, our hands are tied, Wright told people in the organization. In August, Vermillion, who declined to comment to ESPN through his attorney, entered a deferred prosecution agreement after he was accused of unlawfully acquiring and dispensing oxycodone. Oxycodone. Only then did Rivera terminate Ryan Vermillion, calling the situation as, quote, unfortunate. So, yeah, Ron Rivera should have been fired, Ryan Vermillion, but that's his guy, another commander that he kept around, that he wanted to keep safe. But they knew that he should have been fired because they knew the DAA possibly could raid the facility. And Ron Rivera tried to sweep that under the rug. So that's on Ron. But, Daniel Snyder reportedly believes he has enough dirt on the other NFL owners and Roger Goodell to blow up the league. So, he probably does. And he said, Snyder allegedly said probably the NFL can't F with me per Seth Wickersham and Tisha ESPN. So it's crazy, man. The day of a nationally televised game, all this news comes out. All the media, they plan this stuff. They want to get Dan up out of there. I have no problem with that. But you look at the strategic timing of this on a national television game, they have all this news come out on the day of. And then, of course, William Jackson requests a trade. Then Tom Pelissero also gives an update on Carson Wentz, saying that his shoulder injury, where's the article? I had that up too. That he has a biceps tendon strain. He's still going to start tonight. He's not 100%, but he's going to battle through it. I think he injured his shoulder when he tried to block for Brian Robinson or Antonio Gibson, and he just lowered his shoulder and blocked the defender. That's probably when he hurt it. But like I said, don't be surprised if Heineke plays. And remember, if Carson Wentz does not play 70% of the snaps this year, then that pick that we traded for him is going to be a third-round pick instead of a second-round pick. So keep that in mind. I know Ron Rivera has that in the back of his mind as well, for sure. I just feel like Scott Turner likes Taylor Heineke better anyway. I just have a feeling about that because Scott Turner loves him some Taylor Heineke anyway. So I would keep that in mind, man. I would keep that in mind for sure. So let's see if he can battle through it tonight. It's a winnable game, guys. It really is. If they win this game, though, I would be kind of shocked with all this news and distractions coming out. The players are humans, man. They see this stuff. They really do. But of course, they got to go out there and earn their checks and play hard and play through and just block out all the noise. John Allen, I know he's a captain. He's going to block out the noise. Terry McLaurin, he's going to block out the noise. Carson's got to block out the noise, even though Ron Rivera with the ridiculous quarterback comments. Montez Sweat, they just got to block out the noise and play football tonight. So I'm rooting for these guys to win as always. It's going to be an uphill battle with Ron Rivera coach and the Scott Turner coach and this terrible offensive line. It's going to be a tough uphill battle against any team. I don't care who it is. It could be a college team. And we would struggle to beat them with this offensive line and this coaching staff, to be honest with you. That's just where I'm at with this team and this roster, honestly, and just all the ridiculousness with Dan Snyder going on. So it's a winnable game, guys. It really is. I mean, the Bears have the worst rush defense in the NFL. We just need to run the darn football. Carson Wentz, I don't see a corner that can check Terry, Diami, or Curtis, to be honest with you. Maybe Jalen Johnson, that's it. And Montez Sweat, their Bears offensive line is underwhelming for sure. Justin Fields, he likes to hold on to the football a lot. So Montez Sweat has got to step up. F.A. Obata, James Smith-Williams, Casey Teal, the D-line, John Allen, Jerome Payne. They got to do their job. So, all right, guys, a lot of news to unpack. I'll see you guys tonight, man. But all right, you guys, I'm happy that William Jackson is requesting the trade. All right, you guys, Hail to Commanders. Peace.